Everyone, it's Nancy here, and I'm back with a process video for my Hey Little Magpie blog post this month. And this month I'm looking at scrapping different kinds of photos. So this one I'm going to be using a slightly enlarged print, and so you'll be seeing that in a moment. I did just take this piece of paper from the Jubilee collection. I used it in my last month's blog post as well. It's the one with the shields on the back. And I really love that piece of paper, and I had an idea of what I wanted to do with the other side, so I did buy another sheet of that, and I really love this paper. I'm sure I could buy another sheet and cut all those shields out into another layout, but what I've done, I'm just taking my Dilutions mist and I'm painting over some of the background design, and not being overtly neat or anything. I'm just applying the colour, loosely over those. I'm not worrying about being too neat because it is a sketchy design, so that will kind of work with it. And I know that my photo is going to cover up some of this anyway. I decide that I want to use my gold as well, and I'm going to use my gold to outline the chevron. There is a smaller kind of banding around that chevron. So I'm just going to use my gold Heidi Swap, and I'm just using a thin paintbrush to paint that on. Again, I'm not worrying about being overtly neat here because I feel it's just going to add to the overall look of the page. So I'm adding gold to every other one where I haven't coloured in, and as I said, you can make this piece of background paper whatever you want. You could colour in the plain bits and leave the sketched. You could do it black and white. You could do whatever you want with it, and I really love this paper for that reason. As I said, it is an older collection, and it did pass me by to start with, but I really love it. And you never know, I may buy another sheet of it because I really love it. So, of course, I've painted that up, so I am just going to have to put that aside to dry, and I really love it with that gold outlining on. I'm taking another piece of paper from that Jubilee collection to mount my photo on, and here you'll see it is a larger scale photo. I believe it is a 5x7, and I did pick some of the colours from that background piece from this. I do have this very old stash of glitter paper. It was in my stash, and it was being stored with my Christmas collection, collections of papers, and because I recently pulled that out, I have found it up and decided to get it used because it's been in my stash for far too long. I decided to add a small border around my photo, so I am going to end up actually just cutting a little bit of my photo down to fit that on, and I'm then using a little piece of this My Mind's Eye paper, and again that's got that gold glittered star on. And so again, I know that I want to really include as much as I possibly can of like glitz and gold and bright colours, because I'm sure you can see by the photo this is actually the Bellagio water fountains outside, which of course is in Vegas, so it had to be bright and brash and cheerful. And I said this is actually going to go as a kind of a heading, kind of title page, kind of album break within my American albums. I say that is my American holiday is spread over 3 albums, so that is what's going to be going in there. Because the photo is so dark, because of course we waited till night time to watch the fountain play with all the music and the lights. We did see it during the day as well, but it's so much more impressive at night. And I knew with that blackness in the photo that I could really make everything pop with the bright colours. So just adding that glitter frame around that photo is going to help everything and all the bright colours meld together well. I'm going to use my black tuxedo black ink to just edge around everything because again I'm tying it into that background paper. I did not double mount the background paper as I often do, just because I really liked how the design kind of went off the edge, and it kind of just went with kind of the crazy colours and stuff of Vegas. and that part of my album is quite colourful, so you know, this is not necessarily going to stand out too much. I also ink the edges of that background paper because I'm not going to mount it. I've taken a piece of chalkboard effect paper, and this again was just from a scrap that I had on my desk. And again, I just wanted to use some more black just to make everything pop. I stuck it down and then managed to move every single thing on here so it was crooked. But I'm just going to kind of go with it. I'm not going to, you know, overly fuss about this. I'm pulling out, excuse me, the Chamel die cuts and just going through these and seeing if anything is going to work on this page. And I do really like these die cuts, and they're really great for travel themed pages because, you know, lots of this is travel themed. Just pulled in another scrap of that glitter paper that I had there, and I thought this would work to help build my cluster to the side. And I'm just going to play around with these die cut pieces. And a lot of those pieces are the teal and the black, so again they're all going to tie in really well. I do keep toying with these die cut pieces I have in my stash, but they're really not going to work, so I will eventually put them aside and stop fussing with them. Of course, some of the Chamel die cut pieces also have gold on them, so that Ace has gold on it, as does that ticket piece. And I thought Ace was great because, you know, of course, gambling and casinos and stuff in Vegas. And I always, when I think of Ace, I think of the card, you know, Ace in a card game. So I thought, you know, not only is this view and the photo Ace with all of the, you know, the fountains, but actually it kind of went with the gambling theme. So in my head, I thought I was being really funny. As I was looking through my stash, I found this Studio Calico transparency piece, and that was from the Wanderlust collection. And I'm just using that to add a little bit more dimension behind my layers here. And it's just going to help ground some bits and break up some of that gold and glitter papers. I also have those small record sort of discs that came within the Chamel die cut pieces. And they just, again, bring that black and circular element in, so that's going to tie in that Ace at the bottom as well. So I've kind of got 3 circular elements on there. I'm going through some more bits and pieces that I have in my stash, and this is then just a die cut that one of my friends sent me, and that is Oh Snap Gonzo here on YouTube. And I really like how it works on this page. It is a lighter shade of pink, but I think it actually works quite well. And I'm also pulling out a flare badge from Gossamer Blue, which says "We are here," or "We were here," something like that. And that's going to work in really well with this travel collection as well. And I'm just pulling out some of these stickers from Chamel, and again that pink's going to tie in well with the flare badge and the title. And as with all things, I try and, you know, create a visual triangle, a cluster of 3, and so there's now sort of 3 points where you're going to see that lighter pink on this page. I'm just going to set that down at the bottom there, and because it is a larger photo, you've got a bit more space, you know, actually within the photo to overlap things and not necessarily lose too much of the content. And that's why I do really enjoy using some enlargements when scrapping. And as I said, this photo, because of the darkness at the top, I could have clustered more on the top. Just how I ended up doing this layout, that didn't come out like that. But yeah, that is something to bear in mind if you are using a larger scale photo, that you can cluster over it, if that is your style, and you're not going to lose much, if any, content. I've just pulled out some small star stickers from my stash as well, and just sprinkling them around the layout, and also a couple of puffy stickers. And overall, you know, this is quite a quick, simple layout. It took me just over half an hour, but with that really loud background paper and the really strong photo, you didn't really need much more than that. I was toying with putting a title on here with these stickers, but I ran out of ease, so of course I couldn't write Vegas, or, you know, fountain. There was everything I tried to spell I couldn't, so I do just end up putting the date down. So that is that for this layout. Here are some close-up images, and I will be back with a couple more videos from this blog post in the coming days. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you all soon. Bye!